this side. I need to open twitch.tv so that I have my stream manager there. I think it's stream manager over here. I still need to change the day because the day is day 5 and a notification went out that I'm streaming day 4. So let's fix that right away. Cafeteria. Boom. That's the stream info. Okay. So I made myself a cappuccino. I went to the gym. We had a holiday Santa Claus celebration. So I'm just setting everything up right now. Let me click there and make sure that everything's working. Yes, live. Okay. I think everything is live right now. Okay. I still need to drop this in the Discord so that people know. I put it on X, let me see. Just putting it on Discord for people to see, or via, and then I need my YouTube live link as well, or blah. Okay, send it to the Discord, and let me pull up Telegram as well. Last time Telegram desktop was not closed properly. Okay, let's install an update. I'm just getting everything ready. There's Nineberry. Hey, goedenavond. Welcome, Nineberry. Happy to see you. Did you do Advent of Code today as well? Let me see, where is my Telegram? It's over here. So I'll drop it in my Telegram that I'm streaming live. Okay. So that is everything covered, I think. So yeah. Let me see. Okay, I need to close that one. I can put this one away. And I need to pull up. I have YouTube here, I have Twitch here, so I should be able to see everything right now. Okay, that's all the bases covered. So, welcome. Amartya is there as well. Good evening. Nineberry say, today was the easiest for me so far. Could just copy code from previous year and adapt a little. Yeah, Luke also said that it was very easy for him. I think Smap shared his code tomorrow, said he did it in 5 minutes. So get ready for a 7-hour stream. So yeah. Let me get everything in line here. Sorry if I'm, it's a bit late and I'm a bit tired, so sorry if I'm not high energy. I'll try to be a bit more active and awake, but yeah. I didn't want to miss the stream, but I wouldn't have mind just going to bed, actually. But yeah, let's see, we did Advent of Code day 4 yesterday. I added a small program called Bench. We talked about it on Discord today. And it's just a simple way to run all of the benchmarks. So now I have a simple way to bench, so I can give you the time of how everything performed. I'm not going to run it again because it takes a few minutes with all the warm-up and stuff. I think the last time that I ran it. Oh, it mangles it here. Come on. Let me see. Boop, boop, boop. Yeah, these are the times for the code so far for the first 4 days. So yeah, I also forgot to tell Luke that I'm streaming, so let me just send him a WhatsApp message. Streaming now. Streaming, ow. Okay, he'll get it. That's fine. So yeah, that's that. I think I refactored some parts of yesterday. Oh no, I forgot to commit it. I don't think I changed much after yesterday. So I think the code is pretty much still the same. I have the code up on GitHub, but I forgot to push the last changes last time. Boom. So yeah, I think everything is up there. So save it here, welcome. Good morning for you now. What time is it? You're plus 7 hours, I think, right? What was it? I think something like 7 hours ahead. Or 8 hours ahead, I don't remember, but it should be very early in the night still where you are, right? Like 5:30 or something, correct? But happy to have you. So yeah, I think we'll just start reading day 5 and see what it brings. Let's see, day 5, Cafeteria. As the forklifts break through the wall, the elves are delighted to discover that there was a cafeteria on the other side after all. You can hear a commotion coming from the kitchen. At this rate, we won't have any time left to put the wreaths up in the dining hall. Resolute in your quest, you investigate. If only we hadn't switched to the new inventory management system right before Christmas, another elf exclaims. You ask what's going on. The elves in the kitchen explain the situation. Because of their complicated new inventory management system, they can't figure out which of the ingredients are fresh and which are spoiled. When you ask how it works, they give you a copy of their database, your puzzle input. The database operates on ingredient IDs. It consists of a list of fresh ingredient ID ranges, a blank line, and a list of available ingredient IDs. For example, okay, blah 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 blah. The fresh ID ranges are inclusive. The ranges 3 to 5 means that ingredient IDs 3, 4 and 5 are all fresh. The ranges can also overlap. An ingredient ID is fresh if it is in any range. The elves are trying to determine which of the available ingredient IDs are fresh. In this example, this is done as followed. ID 1 is spoiled because it does not fall into any range. 5 is fresh. Sure, okay. So in this example, 3 of the available ingredients IDs are fresh. Process the database file from the new inventory management system. How many of the available ingredient IDs are fresh? Okay. Let's see. Amarte says, I found that benchmark library to be a pain. I've made projects for each day, so 1.csproj, 2, etc. for each year. Turned out you can't have more than one project of the same name anywhere in your solution root, or it won't work properly. Great stuff. Ooh, okay. That's annoying. It's always annoying when the thing that you want to do messes with a solution that you have, and that's like, I've been programming for a long time, and there was always a reason why I would shy away from using other libraries most of the time, and that's because whenever I tried to find, when I found something new and excited, I would break it or do something that the devs didn't think about, like in the first 5 minutes or the first hour. And the only two things that didn't do that right away were like Bootstrap and jQuery. So for the longest time, basically those were the only two that were whitelisted in my book, and the rest I would try to shy away from as much as possible, because those two projects were just sane, didn't get in the way of how you solve things too much, and just provided a good solution. And yeah, I think that's still the case a lot of the time. So yeah, I can totally relate to that feeling. Yeah, so let's set up day 5 here. So we copy day 4, day 0, I mean. Yep. Boop, 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 boop. Day 5. Day 5. The answer, I kept that in my clipboard because I couldn't remember 3 now, can I? This is the format there. This is the input. Do I want to do it like that? I got blasted for this a lot last time, and I tend to agree that I like this style of multi-line comment strings. It's just nice. So I should probably change my default to just be this already, but yeah, that's fine. So now I do. Amanda says, indeed, I always end up writing stuff myself, regardless of language or project type. Yep, we can shake hands on that. Yeah. There's actually, don't know if I can pull that up quickly. Let me try to find it quickly. Maybe that's fun. Where would I find that? Probably here, and then audio files. Yes. It would feedback, right? If I do this right now. I wonder. Would that play? No, never mind. I'll do that another time. I'll prepare it and try it, and I'll go on a tangent next time. Let's see. We need to process this input. Let me make it bigger so you can read along more easily. So we do input dot split by ASCII white space. I think that was the one, right? Oh no, that's another one. See, that's the thing, I can't remember like my my helper functions split by, and this one will probably be just \n/n. So this will split it in two, but since this one is Windows, it won't work here, so I need to do it like actually I should probably just test just to make sure. Let's make this day 5. So let me just run it. Yeah. So do I feed multiple things into this? No. So I can, what I can do is actually I don't remember how I did it last year. Because I think I had a way of writing it in a way that would do it both. Nope. I probably just switch between those two. I should probably write a function for that to just accept both. Advent of parsing. Yeah, that's why I always would write helpers and make it easier on myself, but I tend to forget how I did it. So this one will work for actually I can just prepare it here and I can do else, and then I can do and else I can just do it on the Unix new lines, because that's how the input is fed. But yeah, let's see. What do we want to do? Because we have this part. So basically you have 2 strings there. Then we need to parse those as ranges. I think I made something for that last year as well. But yeah, let's just parse it now as well. So new string as I think I had something like this. String ranges, string values. Yeah, the split by is something that I did myself. I think this was the way that I wrote it back then, yeah. So now I could do this. The split by just lets me paste in a string, and it is more flexible than... there was a reason why I wrote it. It was... I don't even remember why, but there was a reason why I did it like this. So it's a helper that I wrote a few years ago. I should probably record why I do stuff as well, and not just like that. So now what I could do here is that 2 lines. So, and now we get into boom. And then here I can do as int 32s. And now this would be a list of int like this. And now it's parsed into those types. Yeah, but I try to stay away from these because they tend to get a bit unclear if you do too much by them. I have like these whole screen filling trees that I did in the past. So what I like to do is like, I just parse it out like this, and then have the things ready. But now this one also needs a secondary step, because you need to split this into a value. So you would now do like select x, x dot split, split like this, as int 32s, and then I can do as x, just x, and this would mean it becomes a value tuple of 2, and then you could do boom, 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 and then this becomes like a list of int from int to ranges, like this. I think int from, right, I think that's the one. Can I put it into generic lists? And then I need to like, I could do probably like this. So this would be the new notation, right? Or does it not infer that? Boom, boom. It was like this, so I should be able to do like this, but it doesn't infer that properly, so I have to do it like this. So, yeah. And as you can see, it gets quite unreadable, right? It gets pretty hard to follow what's going on. So you have a select here that splits, and then it turns it into int32s, that casts it to a value tuple of 2 ints, which is then to list it. So now we have this parsed out with this whole tree of link queries and extensions, and we mangle it into a value tuple of a parsed, like it goes from unstructured to structured, but at what cost, right? So I used to really like it. I tend to like it less because it becomes really hard to read and messy, and so yeah, I'm not sure if I want to do it like this, but for now, what I used to do is just say parsed like this, and then I go parsed is this, okay? And we can do the same on this end, but we just do the split by on just new lines without the carriage returns, right? And now we have the thing parsed. Okay. So should probably hide this in the region so we'll never have to look at it again, but yeah. So what is your opinion on this? Do you hate it? Do you really hate it? The only thing that I really object is like this, to wrap it into a value tuple of 2 ints. I would probably like to have extension functions there when there's like no extra proper process needed just to cast it from an IEnumeral to a value tuple of 2. I think do I have it actually? I actually have it as value tuple. So I already made those functions, so I can clean it up a little bit, but it's not, yeah. Yeah, see, even you don't like it. Very functional, so very unreadable, yeah. So yeah, you know the Game of Thrones shame? I should have like a sound effect and the thing pop up with that whenever I use this code, so yeah. But they're parsed now and we don't have to look at it again. So yeah, we do parse.values, we for each these, for each and ingredient ID and this. Let's see. Amata says, there's just one reason I don't like Python that much, and that's structure controlled by indentation. This link starts to remind me of that. I can put it all in one line if you don't, if you want, but that doesn't make it better. Like the indentation makes it a little more readable in my head, but like having to explain what happens here or having somebody else read this and it's like, what's going on here? So yeah, I really like this helper, but on a single level, right? Like this one just casts every int in a value to ints, right? As strings into a list of ints. But when you start to combine all this black magic, it stands like the cognitive load just goes up and up and up, and yeah, that's like the more that I code, the longer that I've been coding, the trade-off between trying to be clever and just actually, like, for me, the goal that I try to do mostly is to just make sure that the code, the cognitive load of code, just gets lower and lower. And this is a great example of how not to do that. So yeah. But let's code the test example and see if it works. So we do if. What did I wrote here? Ingredient ID. That's better. And you could actually make like a range type here and have like a single function, but that's fine. Bool. Do we even need that? No. We do for each. We can also sort these, I think, to make sure that once we go past a certain value, that we don't have to keep going. So let's do that here as well. So we do order by x dot x dot item 1, then by item 2, and it gets better and better with every indentation. Oh, what am I doing to you guys? Mea culpa, mea maxima culpa. So this makes sure that we can break early, because we can just go through them, and once we go past our range, we can just skip. Let's see. Nineberry says extract pieces of the complexity into separate functions with meaningful names. That's what I treat. Yeah, that's a great way to do it. For each var range in parse ranges, if range dot from small or equal to ingredient ID and range dot 2 is larger or equal to ingredient ID, P1 plus P1 break. Else if ingredient larger than parse dot let me see. Now we can base it on both. It's not quite true. If you want to optimize for early exit, we have to order by the item 2 first. Because that one decides if we really passed all the windows. So the ordering for exiting early needs to be reversed. So like, let me explain. We sort the range by lowest end, so we can exit early. So 10 to 20, comes after 12 to 18. So this means that once if you want to test for ingredient 19, you can stop processing after this one. Is that true? No, that's also not true. Is there a way to exit early? Only if... No, it's true, I think. Because... Yeah, because this one isn't past the value yet, so we'll keep going only when you start to have the end range passed. Because the end needs to be passed, but the front of the start of the range also. Can that be an issue? I don't know. You know what? Let's not try to be clever yet. I'll just keep it as is and figure that out later and not exit early. I'm just thinking, like, if the window shifts, once the lower bound is past RID, we can stop. So yeah, I don't know what brain fart I had, but it's the other way around. We sort by the start of the range, and once the start of the range is... No, that's not true, because that one will... Let me see. We have this one here. Yeah, once the start of the range goes past our number, then we can stop. Yeah. Now he says ranges can overlap in any direction, even be contained in other ranges. Yes, I know. I'm just thinking, like, with all the possibles, you have like here we go again. With all the things that you can do, if you have let's say this is a value, you can have a range that exists before it. It can exist after. It can overlap. It can be partial, like in front. It can be partial after, right? These are all the options. So there are 5 types of ranges in respect to a single value. So as I was thinking, if we order it by the first values here, once we get a first value that's past our current thing, we can stop checking all of them, because they will never hit. And in my mind, I just had like a quick, I don't know what I was thinking, that I should go for the second one, but that's not correct. So I start from lowest to highest, I sort them by the first part of the range. Once we encounter a first part of the range that's larger than our ingredient, we can stop checking. So here, if ingredient ID is smaller than parse.from, know that range.from, we also break. Won't be any matching ranges after. Martin says you could always try to sort them by end value if you want to try to... Yeah, I have the sort here. I have the order by, and then I exit early. So yeah, I have that. I parse in the parsing piece. I sort the ranges and then I exit early. So yeah, basically check for overlap, and if so, fine, and then move on to the next one. So this should be part 1, right? It's not more than that. It should give 3 and then obviously throw an exception. \R. Wait, what am I doing? Why is there a carriage return there? Yeah, I know. In my parsing, I didn't do two lines for the here. The second part is 2 lines and then as in 32s. I forgot that part here. Do you have 2 accounts? No, I don't. So part 3, yeah, that's fine. So now I can do false. Or do you ask? Were you asking somebody else? Let's see. Oh, value is either too large or too small. So I was optimistic with my int32s. So these will need to be longs. I can make them u longs, but this is fine. So now all I need to do is turn these 32s into 64s. 64. Boom. Mata says, no, I was just waiting for the ability to change name. I hated that PL at the end and I was able to do that today. Ah. Arithmetic operation resulted in an overflow. Okay, what happened here? -1. Boy, what? Wait, what happened? Now I'm curious. I don't understand what happened here. Let's let's run. Do I need to go for big ints? That uint min1 will not. Yeah. We talked about this earlier. So I probably need ulongs, or else I need to switch to big int actually. So that's fun. We can do ulongs. I don't have. Let's see. Do I have do I have a function for ulongs? I don't think so, right? So I just make it, but I mean, it's not that complicated. Should probably call them U64, but ulong and int. Wait, where do I have this? Oh, never mind. I'm an idiot. I have. If I did var here, nothing would happen, right? This would compile and run. I actually just wrote int there because I was having int32s and I didn't. So the whole issue was it needed to be longs, not ulongs, but I had int here, so it does an implicit cast, or well, yeah, it does an implicit cast from the long value that it passed into an int here, and we talked about this earlier today. I have in my project file check for overflow, underflow, and this means that if you would go outside of the bounds of your variable type, it will throw an error, as you can see. So you won't get unnoticed overflows and underflows, for instance, when the numbers get bigger than the type that you're putting it in, right? So that's really, really useful to have for Advent of Code. I always recommend to do it because you will get caught out at a moment that you don't expect it. But that means that you have to be smart and not put int there if it needs to be a ulong in this case, right? Because this is a list of ulongs. So to be safe, you can use var, but that's less readable, but it's safer. So we had 840 here, so let's put that in. And woohoo, we have a gold star. So, okay, nice. It only took me 4 hours. Let's see. Part 2. The elves start bringing their spoiled inventory to the trash chute at the back of the kitchen. So that they can stop bugging you when they get new inventory, the elves would like to know all the IDs that the fresh ingredient ID range is considered to be fresh. An ingredient ID is still considered fresh if it's in any range. Now the second section of the database, the available ingredient IDs, is irrelevant. Here are the fresh ingredient ID ranges from the above examples. Okay? So this is basically an overlap of those two. Where do we pull these ranges from? Wait. Oh, this is just a count of those. Is this just like a last min first and that combined? Okay, this is too easy. Let me see. So this one would be parse.ranges.sum x dot from min x dot 2. Alright, p2 equals this. Sure, we'll just do it for each. P2 plus equals r dot from min r dot 2. Now it's happier. And now this one isn't happy. Who cares? Part 2, it was 14. I think the other one was 840, right? Yeah, let me record it. True. And boom, 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 boom. I can just do long like this actually because it doesn't matter. It probably won't go out of bounds. Famous last words. Yeah. Overflow exception. Nice. What did I do wrong here? Are these actually too big? You gotta be kidding me, right? Oh, it's actually too big. Or is this the... Wait, no, it's actually doing weird stuff here. Am I tripping? Let's see. Never mind. Arithmetic resulted in an overflow. Oh, I have... Never mind, I'm just an idiot. Wouldn't from 2 be negative? Yeah, exactly. It's it was staring me in the face the whole time, and I didn't catch it. 16, was it 16? I thought it was 14. 14. And why do I have 16? And why does it say it's correct? Wait, what? Why didn't it trash on the... What's going on? It says 16 here. This is 14, so... That's interesting. It needs to be unique. Does it need to be unique? So we need to have... yeah, we need to make contiguous ranges, probably. Let's see. Because there will be overlap here. Yeah, sure. Okay, never mind. Okay. Sure. So we first need to make sure that we alter all those ranges and make sure that they, if they overlap, sure. Now it's useful that they're sorted, so you would have for int I is 0, I smaller parse dot ranges dot length count increment I. We probably don't need to go to the last one because we will compare all of them. -1. So we do var A is parse.ranges I, B is parse.ranges I plus 1. Sure, no. You can use an explicit. Why doesn't it like this? Because this one is just a from 2, so this would be int from int 2. This, what's the matter? Doesn't it like this? Why is it complaining? Where is my error list? Can I, sure, it's ulongs. My bad, my bad. So now I should do A and B because it can understand the type there. Okay. So now we do if A dot 2 is larger than B dot from, and then we adjust these and it should be fine. A dot 2 is B dot from -1. I think this would solve it there. Then we just need to process the last one as well. So the last one here would be like this. basically I could do B is A here. Yeah. Right. What I could do is like this. Is that like this, and then I could do A is B, and then B is this, and then here you do B.2 minus B.A. I think this is correct. (26). That's nowhere near correct. I wonder if this these should be value types, right? Let me just check to make sure that I'm not being weird here. 3 to 5. So A becomes 3 to 5, and then B becomes the next one. It's 10 to 14. These are still. So now we get 3 to 5 gets added there. That's fine. So now this one becomes 10 to 14. The next one is 12 to 18. So we have 10 to 14, 12 to 18. Now this one gets shorted from, this one becomes 10 to 11. Sure. Oh, and this is actually, it should be inclusive because these are two numbers. So the answer is always this plus 1. So that's a mistake that I had there. So you have to do the range difference plus 1 because from 10 to 11 are two numbers and 11 minus 10 is only 1. So they are inclusive. So that's a thing that we need to do. Sure, I'll stop and run it again. Let's see. This one makes them smaller, right? So that's fine. Now we have 12 to 18, and the next one will be 16 to 20. So this one again, this shortens this one to 15 because the next one goes from 16 to 20, so that should be fine. Is that all the ranges already? 16 to 20. So we have 14 here. I had working code, but I did too much work. Okay. So this should be fine. I just wonder if there's like a case for ranges where we get a different type of overlap where we would encounter something that would just yield nothing or negative values. So I wonder if there's like, I'll run it and get a wrong example and then I know which case to look for, but I think that should be fine. So we might be fine, or we might have to do another step for certain types of overlap. I could probably do a comparison and then make sure that everything that overlaps with each other, that we remove the ones that don't behave nicely, but where are we here? Dun, 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 dun. Okay, do I need to make this a big int? Is it the debug step that goes wrong here? Let me see. No. Let's see. Here, yeah. Like this. Would this be the issue? Let me just check. No, okay. So this range here just gets to be too big. Wait, what? Is there a negative? Is this one smaller than? Wait. Why can't I debug this now? Call stack. It was in the different part of the stack. Never mind. So if I do this, yeah, okay. So this part here resulted in a value that So there are multiple that start at the same thing here. Let's see. If two is larger, wait. If my ordering is correct, how could this be a smaller value? Let's see. We have a situation where the next one, no wait, where the end step of 1 extends past this one. So do I do it this way? So we do if a dot 2 smaller b dot from, else we do the other way around. We do b dot from equals a dot 2 plus 1, and this only works if it's the other way around, if the b dot 2 is larger than this. So we do if b dot 2 is larger than b dot from, because if they're the same it would cause an error, else console that right line delete this range. So we do a breakpoint here. We do a breakpoint here because I'm curious, and then we run this again. Okay, so here we have B. Let's see. Let's just clear up this. We have A. Let's add a watch, and B. Add another watch, and then it becomes really small. Sorry for that. Let's see. Man, this is so gnarly. So do b dot from minus a dot 2. Okay, different, other way around, sure. It's still a big range. What's the problem here then? Actually, how can this can't even, I'm saying nonsense because we check here if this is bigger, so this one can never be, the case. Wait, let me revert because I'm missing something. Let's see. We have the case where we want to shorten this. And Martin says, but if there's an if on top of that, yeah, that's what I said. Like this makes no sense. Let's revert here. The issue that we encountered was that we shortened something, and what do you call it? This one resulted in an end that happened before the start. That was the issue. So the issue was here if b dot from equals a dot start a from. I think that was the issue, right? Because this one b from -1 was smaller than a dot 2 was smaller than the from, which resulted this to become a negative number. So for this to happen, the start from this one needs to align with the start from that one. Okay, let's just see if I'm correct. Why does it break? Or did it break and I didn't catch it in time? Wait, let me see. It breaks. 6, 5, 6. No, okay, so this is the case. That's the case that actually happens. They have the same starting range. Okay. So if they have the same starting range, A and B, you can see here, A and B are equal. Is there duplicate ranges in there? Or am I doing something wrong here? What's index 4? Okay, let's see ranges. There's actually a duplicate range in here. Is it the actual, the fully same value? So this one falls completely within the other one. That's strange. Debug.net, cache day 5. I'm running in release mode because of the benchmark thing. Release.net, cache day 5. Okay, I should not do that. It's ordered, so let me see. Boom, 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 boom. I should go back here. I'm not sure what you saw, but my desktop switched. The thing is, so there are duplicate ranges in there. Smap says, seem destined not to get here on time. Major hardware failure on my PC, but I've got everything running now. Who knows for how long. Hey Smap, welcome. Actually, I've been struggling with the easiest. Everybody says it's the easiest day, but I've been having a bit of an issue with part 2. I'm just fixing that now. But there is a case here that I need to handle. So this is, if this is the case, I cannot do this. And I wonder if it's like, if they're identical, I can just skip it. I can skip one. I can just continue, actually. Yeah, I can just continue if it's that one and just not process one of them. If b.2 equals a.2, just continue. Just like this. Not sure this solves my issue, but another arithmetic overflow. Nice. Else debugger.break. Let's do that. Boom. Okay, so there's another case where we have overlap, but then we need to decide what to do. So in this case, we need to short circuit some of them because it's the two ranges that matter. So we do if b.2 is larger a.2, then we do, let's see, then we can b.from equals a.2, else a.from equals b.2, something like this. Am I crazy? Marta says, Nick may finally start to suspect we troll him by saying it's easy today. No, sometimes I just make easy stuff very hard, so that's totally a me thing. I'm just curious to see if this is the, or is there another case that I still need to account for? Cool. I probably need to wait for this case and then make sure that it works properly. So in this case, it's yes. So we have the from here. So now it would. And I need to actually +1 this. Why make it easy on myself? Don't know if that would matter a whole lot, but let me just run it. Just to make sure that I understand it properly. So this one now splits the entire range up in 2 parts, takes the biggest one, and then it makes that part. I still not do this, else. Okay, so if I run this, do I have all the cases covered now? Let me just run it. Nope. Still doing stuff wrong. Nice. So what is the case here actually? Let's see. We have A and B, and the A from is larger than the B from, so that's weird. Where are we? Index 52. So how can this one be? Is this because we swapped this? Normally we just end this one. In this case we change the from, and then we should probably also switch A and B in this case, right? Just to make sure that it operates properly. Can you just do A, B is be A, like this. Is there a way to easily switch them without a temporary variable in C#? Let's see. Smap says, I write the code and AI writes most of the tests and documentation. Ah, okay. End up adding loads to my helpers with my spare time. Let's see. So we do var C. Ah, okay, so just different brackets. A. Okay. So let me see if this is, because this one detects that we have to swap them around, so I wonder if that would solve the last issue there. Nope, still not. Let's see, why is A still... Okay, let's see, this is index 52, okay. If I equals 52, debugger.break. Let's see what's going on here. Come on, break. Okay, so we have the two values here, and we already are in a state when these ones don't align. The end regions align here. Okay, so there's actually the reason the one before this is wrong. So let's go back, check that one. Martin says, to be fair, those overflow exceptions warn you early of some faults in logic. That's nice. Yes, yes, especially when you're prone to making errors like me. Let's see, we have AB here, and the from is smaller than the 2, that's fine. Okay, so what is the logic that we have here? Okay. Wait, okay. So we do b dot from, we shorten the b. So we have a case where the starting values are the same, but the end values are different. And we notice that B ends later than A. So, Smaf says, I have the overflow checks on the project level as well. It does have a small impact on performance. Yeah, but it saves me time in other places. Robin Hayer 708 on YouTube. Welcome, welcome. I hope I didn't leave you hanging too long. It's only been 15 minutes since you chatted. Sorry. Welcome, welcome. I've been so focused on the Twitch chat that I ignored YouTube. Sorry. Let's see. We're debugging this part. So in this case, we have a from and to, and the B1 ends later than the A1. So that one has the. So if we go to like the MS Paint, let's do a new one. Don't save. The case that we have here is we have one range like this. Okay, let's take a pen. We have one range like this, and we have a range like this. This is A, and this is B. I should probably just make the canvas bigger and not just zoom. Boom, 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 boom. Sure, we do this 500. That's fine. Okay, let's delete it. So the case that we have here is we have A, and I still need to go back to a pencil. A, it's like this, and we have B, starts at the same place, but it goes on for longer. So my idea was to just say, okay, we take this part plus 1, and that becomes the start here. So we do blah, 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 blah. And that's basically what I tried to do here. I check if the end of B is further away than the end of A, then I make the start for B the end of A plus 1. And in my mind, that should be fine. So this one now becomes consecutive, connecting. And now we can do this one. So B should be fine. Oh, but yeah, the issue is that the next one, then I need to do new sorting. So if I do this, I actually need to make sure that I don't mess it up, because now I have the thing is that the next one, C, is actually this line. So now I have an A that starts after C. So what I can do is have an extra check if, and then swap them around if need be, because the logic always expects the smaller one to be first. Or, no, not an option. Or I should just always look ahead to see every start that's within the end bounds. That would also be an option, that once we have like yeah, that would be an option. I wonder if I can get away with just always looking at one and then swapping them around and making them fit. Probably. So what I can do is if A dot if B dot from is larger than A dot from, then I need to swap them around. And I know this will happen, or might happen, when I do stuff like this here. But the issue is, I don't know that for sure, because I won't look at the next one ahead. So what I can do here is the same swap trick. Where did I have it? Like this. To just swap them once. Smap says, I have the overflow check. Octanos says, a smiley. Welcome, Octanos. Welcome. Did you do advent of code as well? I'm just trying to figure out what I do wrong in part 2. So my strategy will be to add another swap and see if that magically solves it. So this would be index 0. Wait, what? This is not the case that I need to swap, it's the other way around. Or I can just do A, B. When it's not in the, when it's not ordered as expected, swap. So this one should now break at 51 probably for this one. Yeah, so we can remove this one. But next round it should edit. I should be able to hit this, right? Hardware, okay. I should probably also go back to the debug build, because why not? Octanes said, hi, yes, I just joined, but it looked like we went similarly object-oriented program here. I got very lucky with my setup. I just needed to throw in the sum on the ranges collection part. Wow. Yeah, lots of people said it was really easy, but I'm making it hard to... Let's see, we have the range here, so this one will shorten it again. This one make them connect. Okay, we will have another situation where they need to swap. Boom, make them match. Another one. I wonder how many times they will need to swap. Okay, we have an answer. So maybe this is it. Whew! Let's see if it works. It's been a whole lot of MS Paint and figuring out and mental math, but I think I have a solution. It's probably the most convoluted thing ever. And it's not correct. Okay, the answer is too low. Okay. Okay. I didn't get it. Let's see. I actually didn't try to run it on the test input, I think, right? Let's try this new solution on the test input and see if that still works. Okay, it worked for the test input. So now, where do I go wrong? And it's too low, it says. So I might have to rethink my whole strategy. I don't want to actually record all the numbers, I just need to make every... Yeah, the test pass. It already passed before, but that's because there is a simpler thing there. Sujo Sui says, hey, just got finished solving. Congrats, I haven't yet. So I did part 2 and I probably over-engineered something. Because in my mind, all the things that the only thing that I need to do is make sure that the ranges match up nicely, and I'm doing something wrong there. So I wonder if I can solve that part first, to just look at all the ranges, and I have them sorted already. So that's interesting to me. Let's see. Yes, you need to find all the distinct ranges. Yes, and this is my code for it. But so what I did is I parsed the ranges out and I sorted them on first and then second value. I already have them sorted, and then I need to make sure that I shorten them. So what I do is basically I loop through all the ranges, I compare one to the next. And this one is because I do some magic here, and that's probably the issue there. The basic case was if there is overlap there, just make them match. And that's not enough. At least my logic to make them match isn't enough. So I can bring up the MS Paint thing again. So what I did was, if I have like these ranges, I would make sure that I snip it here and just make this one start at the end of this +1. So Smap says, I think I see where you are having trouble. Yes, that is true. Because I also noticed that there is duplicate values in here. So I should probably, what I could do actually is distinct them, but that only removes a part of it. I mean, I can do this so that duplicate entries are removed, but that won't solve my problem. And I think there's a fundamental flaw somewhere, and I don't even remember the previous value that I submitted. I should have probably written that down. Right there. So let's see. And this value is even lower, so, and the answer already said it was too low, so so I'm sure that's not correct. Let's see. Yes. So it's funny that by distincting it, I get even less of a range. So I'm certainly doing something wrong. I'm just not sure what yet. Let me think. Is there an easier way? So what I could do is, if I just do something to find all the overlaps, so like I can do this one, or I can do like, so I can do like a dictionary int hash set int overlap this. So I do hash set int overlaps blah, and then I can do so then I can do if parse.range is I var A is this, var B is J. I should be able to call them this, right? So x dot, let's see. On YouTube they say, I have it in C++, a small segment of code which find all the unique segments if you want to. No, thank you, I'll struggle for it a bit further. And I have people in my Discord that all share their code as well that I still have to look at. So I have plenty of solutions if I really want to, and people in chat that could help if they want. But I try to solve it myself first. But I'm just, it's funny that everybody thought that today was really easy. And today is typically is then a day that I struggle with it, so that's funny. So I have to remember the overlap thing, which basically means if and I just always go back to visualizing this, right? So you have overlap if you have a range here and another range here. Basically the overlap is always like this one before this one and this one before this one. So it's a dot, you call this a dot 2 has to be smaller, has to be larger than b y dot from, and x dot from has to be smaller than y dot 2 overlap, right? So if you go back to this, you can have this kind of overlap, you can have an overlap here, you can have one within and one outside. And let's give this one a different color. So if we compare all of those to this one, like if you isolate this one, has always have to be larger than this, and the same goes for this side. Always has to be smaller than this one. So that defines overlap, right? So you can always test two things and you'll know overlap. Smap says, sometimes you just get a mental blocker. In my case, one day I typed point x, comma point x instead of xy. It took me ages to find. Yeah, I know. So we can do overlaps add j, and then we do overlap add I, comma overlaps. So now we can go for each we can probably skip adding this if over count larger than 0, and we do this. So now we can look through all the overlaps. So we can do for each var overlap ID and keys. So we can do console.writeLine for range is bars.ranges overlap ID, like this. And then we do overlap over ID int over ix in keys, like this. Over no parse the ranges over ix. Like this. Let's see. I use a dictionary to store the ID of the one that we found the overlap with, and this will be, they will all happen for each other, so it doesn't matter, but let's just spit this out and then return. So we just write out the overlaps here, and then we need to figure out how to handle all of them. So these are all the overlapping cases. So you have one, this is an exact overlap, and then we probably need, for all the strategies that we have, the types of overlap, we need to figure out how to use them. If we have an overlap that completely falls within one, within the other, we can just delete that range. And it's funny that there are multiple dupes in here. So what I can actually do, I thought that I already deduplicated. I already skipped this one. I can say line, nope, line like this, overlap ID, oh. Okay, why does it find itself? That's interesting. That should not, oh my god, sorry for that. That needs to be I and not 0. Let me just kill it so that we clear the cache there as well. Okay, so here are all the overlap cases. 2 with 3, 3 with 2. We can also do hash set int over processed is actually, nah, never mind. It doesn't matter because we can address them in process, because they can be part of another overlap as well there. It's like the combination we could keep track of like a unique key. Yeah. Recorded is blah. So the key would be string key is I smaller than j. So this would be like I j j I. If recorded come on, record contains key, continue, recorded add key. So this one, make sure that those exact dupes don't happen. So that reduces the noise a bit. Let's see. So that's a lot of overlap. So we have 13 overlaps with both 14 and 15, but 14 also overlaps with 15. So what we probably want to do is now detect which kind of overlaps they are, and then strip out the ones that completely fall within each other, and then have the other ones. Let's see if we can find those. So if other range dot from is smaller than range dot from and other range dot 2 is larger than range dot 2. Other range completely covers range. Else, if we have the other side, like the inverse of this, range completely covers other range. Okay. So now we can say is smaller than parent, so we can delete this. Let's say Sujal Sui says you're complicating it. It can be solved in less than 20 lines. Yes, I know, and lots of people have made it really easy, but clearly that's not the way I'm going about it. So I usually prefer to struggle, come to a solution myself, and then look at what other people did and learn from that. But I always try to at least solve it myself, even if it's in a convoluted or broken or maybe even wrong way. So I do this for fun, not to get to the end. Is parent is contained in this, so we can delete parent. Good to hear it. So let's see. Those are the two cases of ranges that we can completely strip out. So that's nice. We can remove some of those. So that means we could delete line 22. We could delete line 73, right? Smaller than parent. 22, 23, 84, 98, 158, 173, and 178. So due to the way that we sorted it, The inverse can never happen, which makes sense. So let's see. Other range completed this. No. So this one is the one that only can happen. They say, I realized today itself that Advent of Code has started and said a few hours finishing. Yeah, then it's a nice, you have a few days to go back to. You can even go, if you go to events, you can go back to previous years as well and do those, all of those as well. I still have a lot of them that I still am able to do. So basically, this is the only one that can happen, right? Smaller than parent, and that then. Did I write it correctly? Smaller than parent? Sure. So this is the case that we can encounter. This one we can't. So it could be a list as well, but it doesn't matter. And lines we can delete is plop. So we can here safely do add j. No, other ix in this case. So if we do this, what we could do here, should we just delete? We could actually just delete it. Oh yeah, sure. For each int line to delete in lines we can delete. And then we can do parse arranges, remove, add, and we need to reverse this. So if we do it reverse, we can shift it over, so then we can remove all of those. Now we just need to still account for this one, and then we need to shrink those ranges. But once we shrink a range, we still need to account for the other stuff, for the other kinds of way that it overlaps. Basically, if I go this route, I would have to run this again after I alter something, because I can mix up the order, because the sorting will be different. So we have the inside case here due to the, if I keep deleting it, my MS Paint, my pretty picture. If this is the one, and we have this variant, we have this variant, we have the inside variant, and we have the overlapping variant. Okay, so this one we handle, we delete that one. Due to our sorting, this one can never occur. So we only have to account for these two. And I think because of the sorting, this one can't happen. But what can happen is that we have another one that is in order, and it does this. So we need to make sure that we actually only modify the one that we're looking at compared to the another one, so that we won't do something wrong there. I think that's my thinking. Like if you always look at the current one and only modify the end here to match the next one, it should be fine. So let's validate my assumption there. Boom, 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 boom. So, if The only thing that's left that's possible here would mean that other range dot from is larger, might be equal to, but it should be larger than range dot from, and other range dot to is larger than range dot to. Else debugger break break. This shouldn't happen unless there's an equals thing there. So let me just run it, assert, and see that I'm wrong. No, yep, I'm wrong. Great. Let's see. So we have range and other range. Okay. Okay, so it's the exact case that I said, like, okay, this can happen as well. This is the only valid thing. Now it shouldn't break, or I have made not a mistake. Great. So in this case, they end the same. Yeah, that's also still valid. But the from should be before the end. Yeah, okay. Okay, like this. Now it should. Okay, now we get through it. Okay, so these are the cases. So back to the drawing board. That's like the only thing that can happen is this scenario, where it can happen that this one lines up exactly with this one, or this one lines up exactly with this, but this is the last thing that can happen. So now we need to make sure that we shrink those properly. So we have 3 cases here still. We have one where these one match. So if these match, both start at the same place but other ends later. Else if, and this is the end part, when they match, both end at the same place but other starts later. Else, and this is just a simple other end starts and ends later. So for this scenario, we need to shorten this one. Actually, for all scenarios, we need to shorten one, right? In all of these scenarios, actually this one might be another form of overlap. These can be inclusive actually. So then this one, these ones, this one shouldn't happen. This one can still happen. This one can't happen, I think. see. YouTube to say I've joined your private leaderboard currently at 5th. Won't be able to climb the ranking much given I've started today, but definitely saw the upcoming rounds. Well, you never know what happens in the later days. But it's nice of you to join. I also have a Discord. Let me just grab it here. So if you want to share your code, you can always feel free to share it on the Discord. I'll drop it in Twitch as well. Always happy to have more people sharing their code. Let me just test my assumption, because if they end at the same place but the other starts later, that would be another form of overlap that's covered by this one. So this one should no longer happen. This one shouldn't happen, this one shouldn't happen. So let's run this again to make sure that I'm still on the right track. Okay, that's nice. I'm on the right track at least. So I think for these I can just suffice with altering the one range one to make sure that they land up. So in this one, Jose says, I'll share my code for you to lead later on. Do you understand C++? Or I can read C++. I'm not a master at it, but I can read C++. I've coded it as well, but I prefer C#. But we have F#, Python. Last year Amarte did C++ as well, so no, feel free to share it in the way that you wrote it. I'll try to understand it, so, and then butcher it, so no worries. This would be adjust. Both are in the same place, but other ends later, so we say adjust. Lost my train of thought. We can adjust. I will always try to adjust the first one to make sure range dot 2 equals other would I do that? Because in this case is this even possible? In this case, if it's both start at the same place but other ends later, I wonder if this one is even possible. Yeah, it is possible, but in that case, wouldn't it also just cover? Would it be the inverse cover thing here? Let me just debugger here. This one, let me just check. Okay, range and other range. They start at the same place, but other range ends later. That means that range is contained inside other range, so we should be able to delete range in that case. Yeah. So in this case, we should be able to delete range. This one. Okay. Covers line. slowly but steadily we're getting there. Boom, 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 boom. So multiple combinations here. That's funny. So the only thing left to do here is that on this case is that we need to alter the start of the current range. So we should do parse the range. And I wonder if we do that multiple times, if it would cause an issue. I wonder if that would cause an issue if we alter the range there. Because it might interact with another range as well. But basically we should be able to do like this one is blue, and then we do range.from, and it ends at other range.from -1. So what's the answer that we get here? It's a higher number. Am I feeling lucky? Now it's too high. Great. I wonder what I'm missing now. So we have all the overlap things covered, I think. I wonder if I should run it again, but I don't think that should make a difference there. Akash, Akshat, I'm sorry for butchering your name, says, sort ranges and merge them so it's faster. Yeah, I'm doing that. Merge the intervals if there's overlap so it's easier to calculate the required ones with low and upper. Yep, I'm trying, but I'm making mistakes. I wonder, because I did something like this last year. I think there was like No, I'm not sure. Um, hmm. I wonder what I'm missing here, because um, hmm. Octana says there was a similar ranges problem in 2023. I'd say you're trying to deal with the problems instead of eliminating with them. Mm, I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing wrong, and I can't put my finger on it. Like these two. They are within range of each other. I wonder if I just run this more than once, if it would. Let's see. I've like void cleanup. Because this one would go through all the overlap there. I would probably have to resort it. Um, let's see, change count here. Boom, 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 boom. So if we do this, and I do int loop count is 0 while cleanup larger than 0 and loop count smaller than 20. don't think this is a different answer. Okay, so that does nothing. So it's not that. Well, actually, no, it's not true. It did something, but it had no impact, right? Or am I crazy? It's the exact same output. So I didn't solve anything by doing it again, even though it removed part of the overlap there. Hmm. I actually wonder if any of this still triggers after that runs. It shouldn't, I think, because everything should have been resolved. Yeah. Okay, so none of this code even runs anymore because all of the ranges have been solved. The issue is just that the ranges that I created are incorrect, which is annoying. I just wonder what I'm doing wrong because, like, if I resolve all the ranges stuff, the checks here for like overlap and stuff no longer hit. So that part is working. It's just it's doing too much or too little. I don't know. I wonder what I'm doing wrong here. Because all the cases that we account for don't hit as expected. So the only logic that executes is, okay, so maybe my logic here is incorrect or something. Let me, no, that value was too high. So by deleting something, we can't be too high. So the only candidate for something actually wrong is either this. It has to be that. So let's see, if I do the test one again, I think the test probably still passes, right? True. Sure, the test still works. But the test is too simple to catch whatever I'm doing wrong. Now the question is, what am I doing wrong? Actually, wait. This hits for the test, I think. Right? That's weird. So isn't this part of the overlap that should have been detected here in my cleanup function? Let's see. This one overlaps with this one, but it also overlaps with that. Why doesn't it catch that one? I wonder. Because as soon as this one, no, wait. This one only interferes with this one, but this one interferes with this one. So what I would do is make this one 10 to 11, then you have this one, but that should still interfere with this one. But I don't see that in here, the 16 to 20. The last line there isn't caught. Okay, let me see, because I don't detect that change there, that overlap there. That is weird. So I have 3 to 4. That is 10 to 12. 12 to 16. What were the ranges again? Oh, wait. Okay. I don't look ahead enough, right? No, that's not it. Wait, A is this one, B is this one. There's an overlap here. This one doesn't catch, but this one should, right? Let's see. So this one makes this range, it converts it from, oh wait, I didn't, I wanted to check this one actually. Let's see why this one doesn't hit. I want to okay, this is a bug, because that was for something else that I needed to do the -1. Okay. Okay. At least it detects the last change there. I don't think it does much. What happened? You changed it. I didn't do any changes, I thought. Okay, let me just delete these. Let me run it. So this part is still the same. I don't think it will change the output much, unless it was because I didn't process the last entry there as well. No, it's still the same answer. Right? Come on. I don't want to stop debugging. Yeah, it's still the same answer. So that small mistake there also wasn't the issue. Yeah, I think I'm gonna stop for now because it's getting really late. Maybe I'm just too tired and just not seeing it. So yeah, I think I'll stop it here and just go look at what. Normally I would pick it up again tomorrow, but there's lots of stuff planned for tomorrow again as well. So I will probably come back to this when I have a bit more time and a clearer head. But yeah, Sleep Souls I'll probably, yeah, that's true. I usually really like to look at what everybody else did. Um, yeah. So what do you guys say? Should I look at your code and go through it, or save that for the next day? I'll leave it up to you. And if not, shower helps as well. Yeah, I need a shower because I went to the gym today. So I'm like in my gym outfit as well. So what do you guys say? Look at the code or end the stream here? I have one vote for. Hey, Sanko Software, that's been a while. Nice to see you. So if you aren't tired, go through it. Nineberry and my code seem to be almost identical. And they are very short, yeah. Let's see who was the first to post it. I'll take a quick look. Maybe it'll make me sleep better as well. Let's see what all my previous. These are the timestamps for the benchmark results. That's coming. It's like midnight here, so. Let me see. This was day 5. People posted code before, right? Let me see. Day 4 solver. I saw people post day 5. I think Smaut was the first to post it here. Okay. Okay, let's see. Fresh ID ranges, ingredients, fresh ID ranges. Okay. Then you skip that line amount of lines. So this is the parsing, that's fine. Merge overlapping. This is the part that I should take a good look at. Let's see. This is probably for the testing, so it has an entry point to execute this before the rest. Okay, let me see. Extension, merge overlapping. Okay. For range and ranges, order by. Let's see. If merge ranges count as 0, sure, add. Okay, so the first one you just add. After that, you get the last one that you added in the merge ranges. Sure. If ranges start smaller than okay. So basically this says, okay, if the new thing that we're adding, right, starts at before or at the end of the last one, sure. Wait, y plus 1. The start is smaller or equal to last end dot 1. Okay? Not sure why. Merge ranges is... then you overlap it. But how do you know that it's ends bigger? I understand this part, I'm just not sure how the last one in here would make that not a problem for not having to check anything else. They are ordered by start, so they will be always. Oh, what happened there? Hey Noino, welcome to the stream. Thanks for the raid. I actually just stopped and I didn't manage to do part 2 because I got into merging and fixing the ranges, and for some reason I just I couldn't wrap my head around it, and it's getting late and I was like, I'm gonna get some sleep and just quickly look at what everybody else did and then come up with my own solution again. So yeah, I'm sorry there's not much going on and I'm about to end as well, but thanks a lot for the raid. I was just going over SMAP's code and trying to figure out what I'm missing here. Let's see. 9 base has 2 to 4 and 5 9 can be combined if there's no gap. Sure. Frankie said neat. The one tip that helps you? Well, I can show you what I did. First of all, I used the extensions that I wrote previously that are very unreadable to parse it. So for part 1, that was fairly simple. I think everybody got it pretty quickly. And for part 2, I wrote some stuff that I started out trying to figure out what kinds of overlap there were. I think I had like all sorts of paint things as well to figure out the kinds of overlap. And I'm just missing a point somewhere. So I wrote a function that helps parse the ranges and check out all the types of overlap, like if the one contains the other, then we can delete the range depending on how they overlap, adjust it, etc. But yeah, I'm missing something, and I started out first by sorry, I'm just it's a bit late. Yeah, I'm actually, I don't need a hint right now. I'm just looking at how everybody else solved it right now, and then I will probably go back tomorrow and after a good night's sleep, fix it, write it again and fix it. But yeah, I'm not 100% sure of what I did wrong. So my idea was I started out sorting the values as well, so from the from until ranges, because that meant you can at least make sure that you don't get any surprises there. But I was missing something that didn't click for me, so I was going through the code that somebody else wrote, and this is their part 2 for like merging the ranges, and I'm just trying to figure out this part and how that makes sure that there are no other conflicts. So basically they do the same basic step by sorting them at least by start, so you get them in increasing order, and then they only look at the last one, and maybe because they updated if there's a merge so that they just expand it, that it works without an issue there. But I'm still trying to figure out, I'm still trying to make everything click in my head, because there are still like warning signs like, aren't we missing something here if we do this? So I'm just trying to let it sink in. But the case is probably that I'm a bit frazzled because it's been a very, very long day with like getting stuff ready for a client just at the last minute, and then my in-laws had to put down their dog today, which was very sad, and my daughter was very emotional for that, and still had to go to the gym because I had a commitment there, and then it's Santa Claus, so there's like gift giving with the kids, so it's been a very, very long day. So yeah, no worries. It's so now I'm just trying to wrap my head around the ranges and try to figure out why it's not clicking for me. Frankie says it helps a lot if you just manually sort the example from the problem text. Yeah, I think I like the sorting is one of the first things I did, but it wasn't the solution for me. So I already had like I made sure to sort it already, but then there's still stuff that I'm missing. Um, so yeah, I'm just noticing that like my head isn't processing like it should. So I should probably just let this sink in later, or revisit it tomorrow. So I'll just try to appreciate what everybody else did. People, um, let's see, Logon says, how does your code merge 3 and 4 and 4 if you have a +1? The example is too simple. Yeah, all the other samples have been really great this year so far, I think. But my code passes the sample easy, but it's not for the rest. But I'll figure it out. I'll revisit it. This stuff like this never sits well for a long time. Let me put in Luke's code here as well. He doesn't have the syntax highlighted, so I just paste his code at the end of mine so that I at least get syntax highlighting. And for those of you that want to share their code, people always share it on my Discord, so if you want to share your code as well, feel free to drop it in there. Oh yeah, Sunko, sorry, I forgot you on YouTube. Yeah, it's been nice. I think it's like 4 or 5 years already that you keeping me company on YouTube when I stream Advent of Code, so it's really appreciated to have you back here as well. So yeah, let's quickly look at Luke's code. Day 5, what did he do? That's all performance timing, parse input, sure. Part 1, simple enough. In part 2, they ordered also by start. Total valid IDs, previous range, sure. Previous ranges at any PR in range, start in range, end. So this is the case. He does it differently. So he does. This is basically the check. Like if one range consumes the other, we don't need to do anything. So that is fine. Then he checks if there is no overlap. He also just adds it else. Okay, so this is the ranges where there is a start range. Okay. Also something that's not clicking right now, but I will go over it again tomorrow. So basically what it seems to do here is take everything that has some form of overlap with the starting area, then takes the max of that one. Ah, okay. I think I get it, but not 100%. I'll also go back to that one tomorrow. Let's see. Amarte is fresh. I like the name of the function. Let's see, what is this? Parse merge ranges. Okay, this is an all-in-one function that already takes care of the range merging. Let's see. Sure. Ah, okay. Sunko Surfer said, I always enjoy your streams and learn something new from you every year. Ah, that's, thanks. I'm happy to do it. I always have a lot of fun doing Advent of Code. A little bit less right now because I think I just need to go to bed and get some sleep, but I'm always curious to see how everybody else does it, and I always learn from what other people do as well. So it's yeah, I just like to code a lot, and Advent of Code is perfect for that, and to share a bit of that joy as well. So let's see, span dash start range. This is no merging yet. Right. This also sorts them by start. Picks the first one. This extends it. Okay. Yeah, I just noticed that I'm not comprehending stuff at all. So I'll go through it a bit more quickly, and I'll probably revisit it tomorrow as well. Though tomorrow is also more advent of more Santa Claus time with the family, and actually I still need to wrap up some presents and make a poem. And oh man, so much to do still, and it's already so late. Maybe I'll just get up early tomorrow and do it then. It's very smart part one. Okay. Maybe it's too complex. Yep. Benchmarks. Let's see. Yeah, the part one is always trivial. Ooh, this is nice and short. Sort. Let's see. Start and end ranges. Sure. If not merged or merged, start. This is basically the same as SMAP's code. It checks if this one is before the start. Otherwise, you take the max for that. Different language, same process. Yeah, I recognize it. I just like coding for me is always something like I usually build like the entire thing in my head and run like a test, and if something is not clicking in my head, it's really hard for me um, to deal with it, because like normally I code it all up in my head, run it in there, and then I can see all the things that I need to do and translate it. But I have like a thread stuck or something. So yeah. But very clean, concise, just like SMAP's code there. Boom, boom. This was all about the debugging and the benchmarking. Boom, 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 boom. Timings for that. It's more about the benchmarking stuff. Sorry for that. Day 4, ESC solver. I had a busy day today talking about all the benches and stuff. That's me streaming and Nineberry. Let's see. Was there an extra note attached? Basically, slightly adopted code of my solution for 2016 day 25. Oh, thanks for the reference. That should make me actually, I can probably go back 2016, and I don't have all the days in here. Haha. Okay. Darn it. Let's see. Parsing combined ranges. Okay, the combined ranges function. Length contains inclusive combined ranges. Okay, let's see. Ranges, we order by start. We start by adding just the first one. We loop through all of them. For losses, result.last. What? Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, sure. It's like, yeah, the last one. If range start is larger than n plus 1. Okay. If the start is, oh yeah, okay. So if it, never mind. Now I can just see, okay, like if this range starts after the last one ended, I mean, sure, makes sense. So But if there is overlap, you just alter the last one and take the okay. Why is it easier to read this one for me when it's clearly just the same code that I've already seen 3 times? Okay. So now things are starting to click because basically when you sort by start, um, everything that you process will be at that starting order. So if you find something that starts after the stuff that you've done last, you just add it blindly because that's fine. If it does intersect with what you're doing, you just stretch that one to be the biggest of what you either already have or the one that you're processing, which makes sure that it's, yeah, okay. So instead of what I try to do with trying to snip them all up, which is still something that I should be able to do in code. At least I think that I should be able to do that. But yeah, clearly I am not worthy. But yeah, now it's started to click. Like the strategy is fairly simple, and you could easily visualize this as well to make it click. So, okay. Logong says maybe because you thought it was comparing the last range when it was comparing. Yeah, it just like I said, like I'm not operating at 100% right now, so I'm sorry for that. But yeah, this it's finally started to click the way that it's solved and why it works. And I'm just now annoyed that I didn't think of doing it this way. But having said that, in my mind, I was like, okay, I thought of a solution to just, I know I have to make all those ranges work. Now I'm just still annoyed that I couldn't write the code properly to make that work, because there is a way to make the code that I wrote work as well. I'm sure there's a viable way to make that work. It's not the most efficient, clearly, because there's a shortcut that you can take here. And it's not even a shortcut, it's just a smarter way to solve the problem. But then still, I'm thinking like, my way wasn't wrong, but I was clearly not in the right state of mind to actually code it properly. But this is a lot more elegant and clearer, and the way to do it, this one. Two left to look at. Yeah, sorry, I'll keep it going. Let's see. I drink your milkshake. Okay, so it's not in GitHub. I haven't uploaded my solution in GitHub. But for day 5, part 2, here's the part that takes a vector of ranges. All artifacts and unique ranges by accounting for overlaps. Let's see. So, if there's no entries yet, add it. Yeah, it's the same thing here. If they intersect, just update the end, and otherwise just add it. Yeah, same logic, same solution. Yeah. Let's see. Fresh ranges that validate IDs. Okay. Input, combine ranges. Let's see, we order by start, that's familiar. Current range is that, sure. Index is 1, index smaller than subrange count. Auto range. Okay. So this is, okay, this is getting more close to what I was doing. Like, okay, if one contains the other, we just don't care about it. if there's overlap, you have the extended end part, and otherwise, calibrate other range. Okay, this will, sure. Okay. Let's see. Node.js, okay. Input to for count data. Okay, this is all the mapping. Sure. We can skip it. Let's see. Okay, yeah, this is the, okay, sure. Basically, if you do the max, all the max parts, like taking the max of those, is the same. Also accounts for the one that overlaps, so it does these two parts combined by taking the max of those. So that is fine. So basically the same solution. Yep. It's funny that everybody got to the proper way to do it except for me. I also need to undo Luke's code here before I commit and send this up. Let's see. Going mad, thought I posted it earlier. Okay. Let's see. Read all. This can bite you in the behind when you're when you take the actual file from the server. It will be Linux style new lines. So only if you like manually copy paste it on a Windows machine or on the machine itself that it will have these exact type of new lines. That's also why I have like the for when I manually have it in my code, it will have Windows style new lines, but when I have it from the server, I have to split it by double new line. I still need to write something to account for that. That's because my code automatically downloads it from the server. So that's something to keep in mind that can cause trouble. Parsing here. Ranges that sort. Let's see. There's a built-in. Oh, what is it, map? Let's see, free training. Yeah, okay, this is the same solution here. Yeah, okay. Whew. Frankie says, I have the feeling JavaScript helps a bit with those problems compared to other languages. Oh, with the splitting? But Asma says, but I'd have to look. Yeah, no worries, we can get to that later. I also thought that I had something for that in the past. Yeah, in JavaScript you can still have both type of new lines depending on what the source of your data is. So yeah, it's been fun having everybody in stream trying to help and chat a bit, but it's getting really late and I'm gonna end the stream here. Spectrum says I just put my day 5 in Discord. Part 2 is obviously, yep, very clear. I don't even make new lists. Just give me 5. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I want to thank everybody for keeping me company and watching me struggle through today. Hopefully tomorrow is a bit better, though I'm not sure that I can not sure that I can promise when I will stream, because it's a Dutch holiday and we have stuff planned with the family, so it might be a late one again. but it should be fine. So let's see if there's somebody still doing Advent of Code maybe to stream. That's to raid. No, that's not it. And which tag did I check? Okay, maybe do I have somebody? Nope. Let's see if there's something in software and game development that's. If anybody has a suggestion for who to rate, let me know. It's always nice to spread it around a bit. Let's see. Advent of Code, learning OCaml. Let's see.
Map. So I have to figure out how to return.
At least it's more Advent of Code fun, so let's go raid them. So thanks everybody, and have a good time. Hopefully see you again soon. And thanks again for the raid. No, I know. Hope you had a good one. I will check out. I see if I can check out what you did later. So bye bye people. Let's go raid and say hi. I forgot I had to enter that earlier. 4 more seconds.
I have to go back. No, it's
bye everybody.
String dot contains. So string contains. Then I want left